Chapter 1. The Quiet Village. In a small, quiet village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a woman named Anna. Anna was a simple woman, with hands roughened by years of toil in the fields and a heart full of love for her only son, Ivan. Ivan was a bright-eyed boy of 10, curious and full of dreams. The village was poor and life was hard, but Anna did her best to provide for her son, hoping that one day he would have a better life. Every morning, Anna would wake up before the sun rose, light the stove, and prepare a simple breakfast of bread and porridge. Ivan would eat quickly, eager to run off to the village school, where he loved to learn new things. Anna would watch him go with a mixture of pride and worry. She knew that the world outside their village was harsh, and she feared for her son's future. Chapter 2. The Stranger. One day, a stranger arrived in the village. He was a tall, thin man with a kind face and eyes that seemed to see everything. His name was Sergei, and he was a traveling teacher. Sergei had come to the village to teach the children about the world beyond their small community, about the cities and the sea, about history and science, and about the importance of standing up for what is right. Anna was wary of Sergei at first. She had heard stories of strangers who brought trouble, but Ivan was immediately fascinated by the man. Sergei's stories were like magic, opening up a world of possibilities that Ivan had never imagined. Anna watched as her son's eyes lit up with excitement, and she began to see that Sergei was not a threat, but a gift. Chapter 3. The lesson. Sergei started holding classes in the village square, and soon all the children, and even some of the adults, were gathering to listen to him. He taught them about the importance of education, about the power of knowledge, and about the need to fight for justice. Anna listened too, and though she didn't understand everything, she felt a spark of hope ignite within her. One evening, after the class had ended, Anna approached Sergei. "Thank you," she said quietly, "for teaching my son, for teaching all of us." Sergei smiled. "It is my pleasure, Anna. Knowledge is the key to a better future. But it is not enough to just know. We must also have the courage to act." Anna nodded, though she wasn't sure what he meant. But she knew that something had changed in her and in her son. Ivan was no longer just a boy dreaming of a better life. He was a boy who believed he could make a difference. Chapter 4. The Challenge. As the days passed, the village began to change. The children were more confident, the adults more hopeful. But not everyone was happy with Sergei's presence. The village elder, a stern man named Boris, saw Sergei as a threat to his authority. He warned Anna and the other villagers that Sergei was dangerous, that he would bring trouble to their peaceful community. Anna was torn. She respected Boris, but she also believed in Sergei. She saw the good he was doing, the hope he was bringing. One night, Boris called a meeting in the village square. He stood before the gathered villagers, his face stern. "This stranger," he said, pointing to Sergei, "is a danger to us all. He fills your heads with ideas that will only bring trouble. I demand that he leave our village at once." There was a murmur of unease among the villagers. Anna felt her heart pound. She looked at Ivan, who was standing beside Sergei, his face pale but determined. She knew what she had to do. Chapter 5. The Stand. Anna stepped forward, her voice trembling but clear. "Boris," she said, "Sergei has done nothing but good for us. He has taught our children, given us hope. We cannot turn him away." Boris glared at her. "Anna, you are a fool. This man will destroy our village." "No," Anna said firmly. "He will not. We will not let fear control us. We will stand with Sergei, and we will fight for a better future." There was a moment of silence, and then, one by one, the villagers began to nod. Ivan stepped forward, standing beside his mother. "We will stand with Sergei," he said, his voice strong. Boris looked around, seeing the determination in the faces of the villagers. He sighed, and then, reluctantly, he nodded. "Very well," he said. "But remember, you have made your choice." Chapter 6. The Future. Sergei stayed in the village, and the changes continued. The children learned more, the adults grew stronger, and the village became a place of hope and courage. Anna watched her son grow into a young man, full of dreams and determination. She knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but she also knew that they had the strength to face whatever challenges came their way. One evening, as the sun set over the hills, Anna sat with Sergei by the fire. "Thank you," she said again, "for everything." Sergei smiled. "Thank you, Anna, for having the courage to stand up for what is right. That is the most important lesson of all." Anna nodded, and as she looked out at the village, she felt a deep sense of peace. She knew that the future was uncertain, but she also knew that they were ready to face it together. Chapter 7. The seeds of change. As the seasons turned, the village continued to thrive under the influence of Sergei's teachings. The children, now more knowledgeable and confident, began to take on small projects to improve their community. The children, now more knowledgeable and confident, began to take on small projects to improve their community. They planted gardens, repaired old buildings, and even started a small library with books Sergei had brought from his travels. Ivan, now 12, was at the heart of these efforts, his enthusiasm inspiring others. Anna watched her son with pride, but she also noticed the growing tension in the village. While many embraced the changes, others, like Boris, remained skeptical. They feared that the new ideas would disrupt their traditional way of life. Anna understood their concerns, but she also believed that progress was necessary for their survival. One day, a group of merchants passing through the village brought news of unrest in the nearby towns. People were demanding better living conditions and fair treatment from their leaders. The merchants spoke of protests and clashes, and their words stirred a mix of fear and curiosity among the villagers.